I, 42M, was married to Sarah, 40F, for 8 years. We have 2 children together, Emma, 14F, and Jack, 12M. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought we were solid. I worked hard to provide for my family, while Sarah worked part-time and primarily took care of the kids. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but I never once thought our marriage was in jeopardy. Until 6 years ago. I came home early from a business trip to surprise my family, only to find Sarah in our bed with her gym trainer, a guy named Derek. The kids were at school, thankfully spared from witnessing that nightmare. When confronted, Sarah didn't even seem remorseful. Instead, she coldly informed me that she had been unhappy for years and that Derek understood her in ways I never could. Within a week, she had packed her things and left. Not just me, she left our children too. Her parting words, "I need to find myself. I'm not cut out for this family life." She kissed the kids goodbye, promised to call often, and drove off with Derek in his sports car. The calls became less and less frequent. Eventually, they stopped completely. The kids were devastated. Emma cried herself to sleep for months. Jack developed anxiety and started therapy. I was left to pick up the pieces of our shattered family while working full-time. My parents were a godsend, helping with childcare until I could establish a new normal. Sarah sent divorce papers through her lawyer 3 months later. She didn't ask for custody, just a quick, clean break. She didn't even want visitation rights. I was awarded full custody without a fight, and alimony payments were set up, payments that became increasingly sporadic before stopping altogether after 2 years. The last we heard, Sarah and Derek had moved to California to start some wellness retreat business. My children eventually stopped asking about their mother. The wounds slowly began to heal. I dated occasionally, but focused primarily on raising my kids and building our new life. Emma and Jack have grown into amazing teenagers despite everything. I'm proud of them, and proud of the family unit we've rebuilt. Yesterday was a regular Sunday. The kids were at friends' houses, and I was doing yard work when a car pulled into my driveway. I didn't recognize the vehicle, a sensible SUV, not the flashy sports car she'd left in. Then she stepped out. Sarah. Her hair was different, shorter now with some gray showing. She looked older, more worn than I remembered. But what shocked me most was the little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old, holding her hand. My heart hammered in my chest as Sarah approached with the little girl clutching her hand. The child had dark curly hair, clearly not mine, and was looking around nervously. Sarah's smile was hesitant, almost sheepish, as if she was showing up late for dinner rather than appearing after 6 years of abandonment. "Hi, Jake," she said, her voice soft but familiar in a way that made my stomach clench. It's been a while. A while. 6 years was a while to her. I stood there, garden shears still in hand, dirt on my knees, completely blindsided. "What are you doing here?" I managed to ask, my voice surprisingly steady despite the storm brewing inside me. Sarah gestured to the little girl. "This is Lily, my daughter. She's 4. She paused, clearly waiting for some response, but I was too stunned to offer one. "Can we come in? I'd like to talk." I don't know why I let them in. Perhaps it was the shock, or maybe some small part of me wanted answers to questions I'd buried years ago. The 3 of us settled awkwardly in the living room, a room Sarah wouldn't recognize, as I'd remodeled after she left, erasing her presence from our home as best I could. Lily sat quietly next to her mother, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit. Sarah's eyes darted around, taking in the changes: new furniture, different wall color, updated family photos that didn't include her. "You've done well with the place," she said. "How are Emma and Jack?" "They're fine," I replied coldly. "No thanks to you." Sarah winced, but continued. "I deserve that. I know I do. But I've changed, Jake. The past few years have been difficult." She then launched into her story. After moving to California, she and Derek had indeed opened a wellness retreat. Business was good initially. They got married, had Lily, and seemed to be living their dream life. But Derek turned out to be exactly the kind of man who cheats with married women. He cheated on Sarah multiple times before finally leaving her for a yoga instructor half her age. "The retreat went bankrupt," she explained. "I've been working odd jobs, trying to keep us afloat. It's been a struggle." Her eyes welled with tears. I realized I made a terrible mistake. I've been thinking about Emma and Jack every day. About you. About what I threw away. I sat silently, anger building with every word. Sarah seemed to take my silence as encouragement to continue. "I want to make things right, Jake. I know I can't undo what I did, but I want to be part of their lives again. Part of your life." She reached for my hand, which I quickly pulled away. "Lily needs stability, a proper family. And I miss what we had." "What we had?" I echoed incredulously. "What exactly do you think we had that you didn't destroy?" "We had love," she said simply. "We had a family. We still have a family," I corrected her sharply. "My children and I are a family." You chose to walk away from that. Sarah's expression hardened slightly. They're my children too. Are they? I stood up, unable to contain my anger any longer. Children you haven't called in years? Birthdays and holidays you've missed? School plays, sports games, first dates, all the moments you chose to skip? You don't get to claim them as yours when it's convenient. I made mistakes, she admitted, her voice breaking. Terrible mistakes. But I want to fix them. I want us to be a family again. All of us, including Lily. I stared at Sarah, this woman who once meant everything to me, and felt nothing but disgust. The audacity of her proposal left me speechless for several moments. She wanted to waltz back into our lives with another man's child and pick up where she left off. As if the past 6 years of pain and rebuilding had never happened? Let me get this straight, I finally said, my voice dangerously quiet. You cheat on me, abandon your children, disappear for 6 years, and now that your new life has fallen apart, you think you can come back here and we'll just welcome you with open arms? Sarah had the decency to look ashamed, but pressed on. I know it sounds crazy, but people make mistakes. I've grown. I've changed. And I'm truly sorry for the pain I caused. Sorry doesn't cut it, Sarah. Sorry doesn't erase the nights I spent holding our crying children. Sorry doesn't make up for the therapy sessions, the missed child support payments, the birthdays you weren't there for. You didn't just hurt me. You devastated Emma and Jack. At the mention of their names, Sarah's eyes filled with tears. How are they? Please, Jake. I need to see them. No, I said firmly. Absolutely not. They're my children. Children you abandoned. I was shouting now, unable to contain my rage. Little Lily shrank back on the couch, clutching her rabbit tighter. I immediately felt guilty for scaring the child and lowered my voice. You gave up your right to call them yours when you walked away without a backward glance. I made a terrible mistake, Sarah pleaded. Don't punish the kids because you're angry with me. That was the final straw. Punish them? I've spent the last 6 years making sure they felt loved and secure despite their mother's rejection. I've been both parents to them. I've built a life where they can be happy despite the hole you left. And now you think I'm the one punishing them. I walked to the front door and opened it wide. It's time for you to leave. Sarah stood, pulling Lily up with her. Jake, please. Just think about it. Let me at least see Emma and Jack. Let them decide if they want me in their lives. My children have been through enough, I said coldly. If and when they want to contact you, they can. They know how to reach you if they choose to. But I will not force them to face the woman who abandoned them just because it suits your needs now. This isn't just about me, Sarah insisted, gesturing to Lily. She deserves to know her half-siblings. Don't you dare use that child as a pawn, I warned. That's between you and them when they're adults. For now, my answer is no. Sarah's face hardened. I could take this to court, you know. Fight for visitation. I laughed without humor. Go ahead. Explain to a judge why you voluntarily gave up custody and haven't bothered to contact your children in 6 years. See how that works out for you. She knew I was right. With one last desperate look, she said, at least tell them I came by. Tell them I love them and I want to make things right. Goodbye, Sarah, I said, and closed the door firmly in her face. I watched through the window as she stood there for a moment, shoulders slumped, before leading Lily back to the car. Only when they had driven away did I allow myself to sink to the floor, shaking. That evening, when Emma and Jack came home, I didn't tell them about their mother's visit. Maybe that makes me the bad guy in this story, but I couldn't bear to see the pain in their eyes again. Couldn't stand to watch them get their hopes up only to potentially be disappointed once more.